should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Hoppe Hour.
What up? What's happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And this guy I had on 6 months ago, and he has grown immensely, not just here in Tampa Bay, but in comedy overall. I'm glad to call him a friend, and he's a guy you need to look out for. Live on Hoppe Hour is comedian Cam Bertrand. What's up, dude?
Yeah, what up, Hoppe?
Dude, you have grown immensely. 6 months ago, you were asking to come on my little podcast. Now you're doing shows in different cities, man.
Yeah,
it
dude.
is inspiring to see your confidence grow, man. When I saw you at Wine and Rhyme last week, dude, I haven't laughed that hard since I saw Jim Florentine a month ago, man. It is inspiring to see how much fun you have doing comedy, dude.
It's a great bracket to be in, man. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm glad they enjoyed themselves. Wine and Rhyme was dope. It was a fun experience. I got to do that probably another 2 months ago before that one.
How do you get approached for these gigs? 'Cause that's a very good show for you because you sort of talk black, but you also work with every demographic.
Yeah.
Like Jim Florentine isn't going to do well in an urban crowd, but your comedy works with everyone just because you're skinny and white, and it just comes off likable. It's not nerdy.
Dude, it's weird. I don't even know if I come off likable. I think my jokes make you like me. I think that's what it is.
And
when
your
you first see
humbleness.
me,
You're like, yeah, I look like a lesbian.
yeah,
and you
dude. My
embrace
first
it.
5 minutes, I'm letting you know. I know what I look like. You know,
Yeah.
I gotta embrace it because that's when people are like, okay, he doesn't think he's cool. He doesn't think.
You're not overcompensating. That's what I
Yeah.
love about your comedy,
Thanks,
dude.
man. Yeah, the way you get approached is my favorite thing is to let your work speak for you, right? So somebody sees your set, they come up to you after, oh, we want you to do this, or no, I want you to do this. It was
How
great, I
awesome
enjoyed.
is that?
It's the best feeling because I'm not the guy to email. Emailing is huge. It's a big part of comedy. You're supposed to email bookers and be like, hey, blah blah blah. I suck at that. I'm the worst. You know what I mean? Like I've got the emails, I just never send them. I don't like bugging people.
Why do you suck at it?
I just don't do it. Like, I have the emails, but I'm not the guy to be like, hey, we met 2 months ago. Can I please? I feel like I'm begging. Like, I feel like I'm bothering somebody. I don't like doing that. My thing is I want you to see me and let me earn it. You know, if you let me do a guest spot, I'll come in and do well. You know, and then you'll be like, hey, can you come back? That's what I want.
I think that's why people are gravitating towards you. Because 6 months ago, I'll be honest, I would ask people that are 10 years older than us, because we're both 22. I'd be like, what do you think of Cam Bertrand? They're like, he's a little bit pushy, but he's got potential. But now everyone has respect for you. And that's because the last 6 months, you have grinded your ass off, and you have shown why you are a comedian in this business, which is what I like about you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's all a grind. That's all every single person who gets up is just trying to get better. Anything you do repeatedly, you're just trying to get better. You're not trying to stay the same the entire time.
And what people don't know about you as much, but I know about you because of the times we've hung out, we've talked about comedy. Dude, you aren't just a guy that was inspired by some Netflix special and you go to an open mic and fart around. You have wanted to do this your whole life. Like, this is your passion. And that's what I saw through you when I went to Wine and Rhyme at Ali's in Tampa, was you just came off like a comedian. You weren't nervous at all. Even beforehand, I was talking to you. I'm like, Cam, are you nervous at all? You're like, no, this is fun. That's why you're going to succeed, is you may be nervous, but when you're in the zone, man, I can just tell you are clicking on all levels, dude.
That's a great compliment, man. I appreciate that. It's an anxiousness. Before I go up now, it's not like is this going to work? It's I can't wait to make you like me. Like, that's the best feeling, is being in a room full of strangers and looking at people and going, you don't like me now, but I know you're going to. You know, does that make sense?
I'm trying to find that level of confidence, because at times when I get way too confident, then I get cocky. Then I become kind of a shock jock on air. So what I want to ask you is, because we're both the same age, how did you reach that level of confidence where it's helping you succeed, but at the same time you're not being a douche? How did you find that?
I mean, you got to be comfortable with you. For so long, dude, I hated me. There's still things that I don't like about myself, but you got to overcome those. You got to be your biggest fan and your worst critic, right? So my teeth always bothered me, like having big ass teeth, always being skinny, always being made fun of for those things. When you embrace it and you let people know, I know what I look like. This is what
I
it
know
is.
who I am.
I know who I am. That's when people are like, oh, he's accepting it. You can't make fun of somebody who's making fun of themselves. It's so much harder to accept yourself than it is to accept others. You can accept somebody and be like, oh, he's being him, rather than to be like, okay, how can I be me? Is that?
Oh,
I don't know.
That makes perfect sense, dude. When was the time where you figured out, I'll make fun of myself for looking like a lesbian, I'll make fun of my teeth, I'll make fun of myself for having no muscle mass, I'll make fun of myself for my voice.
All right, Hoppe, you go a little deep now, cuz. You go.
I love how you said cuz.
Yeah,
But
it's funny to do. Every time I do that, I do it for Paul Walker, man. I do. Because have you seen that scene? We're gonna get way off talking. That's the best scene. There's a.
you would love Fast and Furious.
Dude, Fast and Furious is great. I love it. It's not supposed to have a deep plot and a super.
Yeah, everyone
it's
hates
supposed
on
to
it.
be.
It's fun TV. It's fun.
Exactly. This isn't supposed to be The Departed with a great storyline. No, this is Fast and Furious. We go hard. We steal things. We blow up cars, and we steal money. Like that's what. It's great.
Tokyo Drift was my favorite.
Nah, man. Nah, you
I'm
tripping
weird.
now. Nah. Bow Wow's in that movie. You can't.
I love Bow
You can't
Wow,
enjoy
dude.
no movie with Bow Wow in it.
Dude, he's not that bad of an actor. Roll Bounce was a pretty good movie back
Get
in the day.
Oh man, me and JB were just talking about movies we regretted buying, and I think Roll Bounce was my number one. I bought Roll Bounce when it
I
came
bought
out.
Garfield, the one from like 04.
Oh, Garfield the movie?
Yeah,
yeah.
Garfield,
Oh,
the
jeez, when he
movie.
goes to like Paris. Ugh. God, I know what you. Ugh.
Dude, there are so many awful movies that came out that we bought on DVD that we're just going to look back on in 20 years and just be like, why did we do that?
Yeah, but dog, that scene in Fast and Furious is my favorite.
Are you a guy that likes action movies just so that it helps you relax and
Honestly,
forget about things?
Dude, I just love movies. I'll watch anything, and when I mean anything, I will watch. I'll watch anything that's not. I can't even. I was gonna say musicals, but dude, I love High School Musical. I'll watch Finding Dory. Dude, I'll watch.
See, I'm not like that. I
I'll
like
watch
more
anything.
crime shows. I like watching things on HBO.
Oh, I mean, I have favorites. Like my favorites are so like gambling movies. So like 21 or Ocean's 11, Italian Job. I love stealing things. Like as bad as it sounds, I love movies where they're gonna break in, they're gonna steal some stuff, and they're gonna leave. It is fun for me. I like watching.
Is that because you have a past of doing it?
Of stealing stuff? Not filming it. Yeah.
Nothing on record.
Yeah, you can't prove nothing, Hoppe. Oh, damn.
You seem like a guy that was a bad boy back in high school, and now you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to be humble.
I mean, we didn't. There wasn't like a classified thing like, ooh, those are the bad boys over there. You weren't like separated from everyone. It was just like, hey, he does bad shit. Like I don't know how to explain it, man.
I feel like you were a bad boy back in the day, and girls really gravitated towards it.
I mean, but I also got
here's
beat
what
up.
happened. Here's what happened. The thing is, the bad boys in high school, they don't translate well if you keep doing it once you're past 18, and then criminal charges
because
actually
you know what
come
a bad
around.
boy is? A criminal. That's what happens, Hoppe. Ooh, he's a bad boy. Yeah, and then he went to prison. Yeah,
That's
that
what
makes
happened.
sense.
My next door neighbor that I used to hang out with,
Yeah.
he would do bad things, and I would quit hanging with him and be like, all right, hit me up later when you want to play NBA at 1 in the morning. I was talking to my friend. My next door neighbor is now in prison for a year.
That's how
for
that
breaking
goes.
into houses. And I go, that's why I didn't hang out with you that much, and I just had you over for NBA nights.
That's exactly
That's
how
why
that goes.
I didn't really F with you too much, man. Is you're in prison now, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, man. Nobody wants to go to prison. I mean, there's some people that want to go to prison just based on their actions. You're like, yo, you robbed the same place twice? Come on, man.
Dude, isn't it great to know, though, that we wanted to do something since we were little? Like, we knew what we wanted to do. Like, isn't it kind of refreshing that we're beginning to live our dreams?
I mean, everybody's got the dreams. I mean, going for it.
I don't know, man. Not everyone has dreams. People go, I want to be in the NBA. I mean, there's people that don't know what they want to do with their life, though.
I hear you. I mean, the pursuit is what life is about, is going after what you want. This got real deep. Shit, you gotta persevere. You gotta fight through.
Dude, do you not know what Hoppe Hour is? We can go from talking about a girl getting DP'd to talking about the meaning of life. Like, this show is an open book, bro.
I want to hear you explain to the listeners what DP means. I want to hear how. Well, you see, when you like two people at the same time and you don't know.
Well,
I want to take turns.
I had to edit out our show when we first had it on because we were watching the porn awards. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and we were critiquing it, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, this is the most hacky, dirty shock jock radio. I'm like, I'm not keeping it in.
But porn is such an American thing.
Dude, have you seen Hot Girls Wanted on Netflix?
Yeah, bro, I know a lot of them.
Dude.
A lot of them went to Brandon High School with me.
Dude.
And I'm very proud to know them. They're very good people.
Listen, I'm a guy, I watch porn probably once a day or twice a day. It depends on what time I wake up in the morning.
I watched it
And I'm
twice
open
before I
about it.
came here, dude.
No pun intended. Listen now. I felt like I was watching a porno with my mom when I was watching that movie. I had
that's what it
just
was,
a
though.
weird feeling. It was so
It was a
cringeworthy.
documentary about what they go through. What you thought this was going to be? What did you think it was watching it with your mom? What do you?
No, it's just you're cringing. Like it just made me
That's
feel
why
like
you
I was
shouldn't
watching
watch
it
those
with
things
someone.
with your mother. That's why you made a bad decision. Don't blame that movie.
No, I didn't watch it with my mom. Literally, I said I felt like I was watching it with my mom. I was just cringing.
My fault. I misunderstood you. That's my fault.
No. It was such an awkward movie that I felt like I was watching it with a family member just because you're cringing at them being so unhappy. Like the Ava girl that has to bang the old guy.
Yeah.
You can just see the pain in her eyes. I didn't literally watch it with anyone. I was watching it by myself. But what I'm saying is it was such an awkward and painful movie. They did such a good job of making you just cringe.
But there's two things, Happy. One, they made that decision. Nobody's making them do that.
That's
And
the thing,
two,
though. That's what I didn't like about the movie. Was the movie made you feel bad for them? And I'm going, but they're making $7,000 to
That's what
have
I'm saying.
target practice. That's why I didn't feel that bad.
people do that for free, and they do it way worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, granted, you're on the internet, and that's not what you really want to be known for. But you're making a profit. It is a job. People don't understand. Porn is a job, dude. Like that's. I don't knock nobody's hustle. I don't knock strippers. Comedy is a hustle in the same way. Comedy. I'm not really helping you. You know,
Dude.
like it sucks to say, but like. I'm not. I'm providing you with a service. You know, it's as fun for me. It's less of a job for me, but it's an outlet for you. Just like when people go to the strip club, they're giving you a service. You're paying for an outlet. You know, it's
You know
just
what's
a job.
weird?
What?
Is when I was seeing them talk about making very little money at first and having to grind and put things online and having to go through all the bitch work, it kind of reminded me of what I'm doing right now. I'm just not sucking a dick. It was really weird that I was kind of connecting with them in a way that I'm like, I know how it feels when you have to put work online and you want people to notice it, and there's thousands of people that want to go into radio, but I'm just not taking it from behind.
Dude,
it was really weird. I actually connected with the girls in a way that I'm like, I know how it feels when you're trying to break into something, when you're trying to break into an industry that is so cutthroat.
Yeah,
it was
There's
weird.
no problem connecting with it. They're porn stars, but they're people. You know what I mean?
people
They're
don't realize
just
that.
grinding. They're just. Get
it?
Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
That's so stupid. They're just hustling, man. Like they're just trying to. People think that porn stars are unintelligent. They think they're not talented. And I'm not sticking up for every porn star. There's people who do it because they don't have nothing else to do. But it's just an outlet. It's just people want to pay you to do this. It's a lot of money, and you have other avenues you want to pursue.
Here's what I learned about porn that I never thought about. I didn't know there were so many cam girls out there. I knew there was a lot of cam girls and a lot of girls that want to go into porn. But it seems like a dumb business to go into just because what you're doing is no different than what Lisa Ann is doing. So they're just going to pay you $4,000. But the thing is, they think they're going to make a living off of it. And the problem is most girls don't. So then you're going to regret it in 5 years when you go, I just made $12,000 in a year. Yeah, it helped me pay off a car loan, but it didn't work out over time. That's what I found sad about it was the girl that's from Texas that was talking to her mom about the pull-out method. She's out of porn now. And I was reading online because I was fascinated. All she made was $40,000. That's not that much. That's what I'm saying. The issue was it's sad that a lot of them go into it and then they regret it, but it's not like they have $500,000 in the bank.
But
they're not making that much. That's the issue.
She made $40,000 having sex how many times? If she only has maybe 6 videos,
but she
out
regrets being in and out, and it's not going to be there forever. That's the thing, is when she's going to be broke at age 29, she's going to be like, was it really worth having the glamour?
But what did she lose, though? What did she lose by having, I mean, you got the videos out there and stuff, but that's one of those things. You got to be comfortable with you. If you're going to do it, don't regret it later. Like,
but they were regretting it. I was reading online. All the girls regret it. That's what I'm saying. I found the guy creepy, too. The guy that brings them in, that holds down the house. I feel like he was a weird nerd that was overcompensating for getting no girls in high school. It'd be like if I was a weirdo and I was trying to be a porn director. There was something about the dude I didn't like.
I'm not saying I like the dude, but I'm saying he found his hustle too. I don't know why the women trust him. I don't know why the women are letting him do it. He probably doesn't even know why. But they trust him to live in the house and to get the movie shoots and to do this. That guy's suspect to me. There was something about him that was very odd. I thought they did a brilliant job, the women that made the movie, and I'm not going on a feminist rant. I am not trying to rip into women. I'm not trying to call them out. But what they did perfectly was make you feel bad for the girls. So what I did was every time I watch a movie or a show, I go on IMDb, International Movie Database, the online message board, and I like to see what other people say about the movie. Mm-hmm. And everyone was saying nobody forced these girls to go into porn. And that's what I liked about Hot Girls Wanted, was it made you feel like there's a gun to their head where it's like, you must suck dick on camera. Nobody's forcing them to. Yeah, man. Like I said, I know some of those girls, and they're smart. Like,
have you hooked up with them?
No, I haven't had sex with any of the girls in that movie. The thing is, man, that movie, it did them a lot of good because it showed, you know, the side of the story that you don't get to see, but it doesn't show. I don't know, man. I don't know what I want to say about it because
it was a movie where when I was
weird.
done watching it, it made me think a lot about life. And I'm like, why are we judging that much? Like, they're just trying to make it.
That's what that movie should do. You shouldn't judge those people. They're providing a service. That's what it is. You're watching the service.
Here's
Even
what
if you
I
watch
find
the documentary
so phony
about the service.
Here's what is so phony about porn, bro. It's the fact that we judge the girls for going into it. Women judge the girls for going into it. Everybody jacks off. Everybody diddles themselves if you're a female. Everybody does it. Trust me when I say.
Did you just April Macy me right now? Did you just say they diddled themselves?
What am I going to say? I have to be kind of clean on this podcast, even though we've sworn. That's what I find so edgy about people, is they judge, and they are so quick to slut shame the girls, yet we pleasure ourselves to it. You know what I mean?
I think shaming in general is weird. It's weird to be like, why would you do that? Bro, you've done some crazy stuff too. It's like you the one drinking pickle juice. Like you drink pickle juice, man. You the same mug that ate toothpaste. You can't judge nobody.
You the same one that would eat fire ants when you're 5 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
No.
I never did it either. I had a neighbor that did it.
They the type to lick envelopes just for the taste. Like they just bought a box of envelopes and just lick it.
You know what I like about you, man, is you're a very quick-witted comic. A lot of comics are very scripted at these open mics I go to, where they just know their act. What I like about you, dude, is you just are a very comedic mind.
Thanks,
I mean,
dude.
Who would think about licking an envelope just for the taste? Nobody's ever used that joke before. I mean, dude, you just have this comedy mind. That's why you're going to go far.
My man, thank you. I appreciate it. It just, I just think of the weirdest things that I can. Because when you think of people judging people, you think of the people who haven't done nothing with their life, who are just being stupid. The shoe licker from Ybor, man. I got no respect for that dude. No,
who is that?
You've never seen the shoe licker?
No.
I promise there's going to be it's not Googleable, but there's so many people who are going to listen to this. I don't know how many people you have, but they're going to know who the shoe licker is.
There's a YouTube video on it.
That guy bothers me, man. It just you got to have more respect for yourself than to lick shoes.
Is it an African-American guy with an afro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Dirty looking mother.
Ew, what are you doing, dude?
Bro, he's
licking feet. There's people in a row. Yeah. There's people in a line, and he's just going up and down, licking their feet. Like, he's just going, lick this foot, lick this foot.
But it's not even something that people are, it's not a sad thing. It's not people are making him lick feet. Bro, he goes up to you while you're standing in line for the club and he just licks your shoe. I almost fought that dude. It frustrates me that you would do that. you have a family. Get off your feet. Like,
Shoes. Over here, Jamie. Come on, bud. You want to just show him?
Hold on. Yeah,
Come on, dude.
you have somebody else do it too.
All right, I'll link it at Ryan Hoppe Radio. I'll send out a tweet. What I don't like about him immediately is he's trying to put on the cute vibe, like, I'm not going to do it. And then 30 seconds later, he's licking your shoe. It's like, what's wrong with you, bro? Embrace it that you're a weird, kinky guy.
yeah, it's weird, dude. Hey.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen in Ybor City?
Oh man, I put it in a joke, but like it's not even a joke, man. This is a real guy. He had a headband with a hole cut out of the middle of the headband, and and there was a dildo sticking out of the hole. So like, it was weird. So like the dildo was like hanging down over his face like a limp unicorn.
Yeah.
Like it was like he was a sad unicorn. He had on boxing gloves. What else? He had on I can't remember. He had
There's
on, like,
people that just yell
flip-flops.
outside of John Jacobs' open mic every Monday every Monday at James Joyce.
Yeah.
He has the open mic, and there's this lady that goes, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and just goes crazy and yells at everybody.
Yeah, it's Ybor, man. That's the beauty and the curse of Ybor. Is people go there knowing it's going to be weird, but that's why the weird people live there. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Florida is very weird because I'm from the Midwest, and it's the depressed Midwest where everyone just kind of keeps to themselves and they're boring.
The depressed West.
I just heard that last week, and I'm like, that is literally the Midwest. And down here,
It's funny to me.
it's hot out. Everyone's dehydrated all the time, and people lose their minds in Florida. You know what I mean?
I just like imagining you can't be happy there. Like it's just like as soon as you get there, are you smiling? Do you know where you're at right now, boy? Boy, if you don't cry some tears, if you this is the depressed West. Like,
Dude, what did you think of New York City? I went there 5 months ago when I
Loved it.
sat in on It's Eric Nagel on Opie Radio, and dude,
loved it.
I was so overwhelmed, it made me want to succeed. Because before then, I was getting a little cocky, and that humbled me out. I was nothing in New York City. I didn't mean shit.
See, I definitely didn't feel that.
No, I mean it as...
It made me very hungry. Like
That's what I meant. I meant like everybody's walking around you. You're getting shoved. There's always a new person in the city.
you
And
let
the-
people shove you, Hoppy.
Not
That's
like
New York,
that.
man. You got to.
No, but you know what I mean. What I mean is they're not shoving me,
6'10".
but they're bumping into me. Dude, it's a lot of responsibility being 6'9.5" and not coordinated. There's a lot that has to go into being Ryan Hoppe every day. I've been saying this lately. It's a lot of responsibility having size 18 feet,
I just hit a
having a
nerve,
limp,
dog.
having scoliosis in my back, and trying to not trip over things. It's a lot of work being in a crowd, and then I get anxious and nervous. Dude, it's a lot when I'm in crowds, man.
It sounds like a struggle for you, man. It says,
I wouldn't say that. It's
This is
just
a very hot
always an
girls wanted
adventure.
moment right now. You was very. It's not a choice, Cam. It's not a choice. You think it's easy doing what I do?
So why did you go up to New York?
Jared Waters and I, we went to just experience it. We went to go see what the Mecca looks like. Comedy in New York, it's where comedy lives. It's where it thrives. It's where it breeds, you know. New York comics, they're not all from New York, but when you get there and you live there, you're a New York comic.
To me,
Does that make sense?
New York comedy is a million times better than Los Angeles comedy.
Yeah.
Los Angeles comedy are guys or girls that also want to be an actor, and they also want to be models. But New York comedy, to me, they're more focused on being comedians, and if they get the acting gigs, then they'll take it. But it seems like they care more about the craft.
I mean, I've never thought about it like this, but if you break it down, I think comedy comes from dark places. You can make light of dark places, and that's where people, because nobody wants to talk about certain things. That's what New York comedy is. Making light of a dark situation, right? So then you go to LA, and LA is so happiness. It's about sunshine, and we're gonna have fun, but we're gonna do it with. Comedy's not a real happy, jolly thing. It's not where the cool guys go. Comedy's a very introverted thing. You bring people together, but it's a very. you're having a one-person conversation, basically. You know what I mean?
No, it's weird to think that in comedy, no one's really happy. The thing about comedy is you can think that someone is really happy with their life, but these comedians, even the nicest ones, have the biggest demons. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I wouldn't say comedy's not all happy. It's just people. You got to just be a person. When you let the comedy run your life, you'll become very sad because you're chasing a drug. You know,
sort of like when I first came to town, I was all about radio, and I was unhappy even when I was being successful. But now that I'm going on dates with women, and now that I'm having fun going to open mics and leaving my apartment, if you become what you're doing, then you're a loser. You're a narcissist. You need to have fun in life, you know?
I mean, it's like a bubble, right? So if you're in the bubble, so you're in the radio world, you're just in the bubble. You get so dragged down with just doing that repeatedly that when you step out of the bubble, you're like, oh, I missed all of this, right? So I'm almost 3 years in, and so for the first 2 years, I was just in this bubble, right? And then you step out of the bubble, and you're like, oh, I missed out on a girlfriend. I missed out on this. I missed out. When you can do both, that's where the happiness is. You can be happy in comedy.
That's where you get the content. And that's where you get the material, is when funny things happen in your life. When you go on weird dates, when you see weird people, that's when you get the material. If you're just all about radio, comedy, you're going to be no different than anyone else because you're just going to be a carbon
copy. No
copy.
life experience.
Yeah. What's some of the weirdest things that you have put into your comedy that have happened in your life? Like when you were doing your set at Wine and Rhyme at Elise, you were talking about all the weird things that happened in Atlanta when you went to the Laughing Skull.
Yeah.
And that was just so relatable because it painted a picture on my mind. Even though I wasn't there, you did a really good job of making me feel like I was there with you.
Good. Yeah, Atlanta was weird. Definitely not the weirdest things I've put into jokes. Probably the weirdest, most uncomfortable thing I put into jokes is talking about sex, like talking about my sex life. Like,
does your girl not like that?
No, not even like the current stuff, like the previous stuff. Like I'm talking about losing my virginity and stuff like that. There's jokes about that, but
why is it so awkward? It's the past.
It's awkward because it's stuff that people don't want to hear it because people don't want to hear about your sex life. It's funny, but people aren't like, we care. Nobody cares how you lost your virginity. It was a funny story, but nobody cares. It's
I notice sex is a very taboo thing. I feel like 50% of people like hearing about it and 50% are turned off.
It's been done. It's been done. I think that's what it is. I think people are like, we get it. You know, there's so much negativity and there's so much. It's in every movie. It's in TV shows. It's on the radio. It's everything.
That's why Howard was so big back in the day, is because he was the one outlet to hear porn. He was the one outlet to hear about edgy things. But now there's every podcast that's trying to be the next Howard, and you have to be yourself. That's what I see in comedy too, is it's all about being genuine and being yourself. Because if you're going to try and be a carbon copy of someone else, it's not going to work.
What do they say? It's something about copying is damn.
Basically, don't be a hack. If you're being someone else and you're that influenced by someone else, then you're not doing a good job. Like, here's the thing. I used to be influenced by the previous show I worked on, Rover's Morning Glory. It's a very good show. It's huge in Cleveland. I have a lot of respect for it. And I used to do a podcast where I would sort of copy him in a way that I was just edgy. I began to show with a pump-up intro, and I wasn't being myself. Now I embrace it. I'm awkward, I'm uncoordinated, I'm goofy, and my show's more successful than ever. And that's because there's just one Rover. There's just one Howard. There's just one Opie and Anthony. When you are influenced by them, but you're yourself, it comes off more genuine, and people are drawn to you.
Yeah, that's become the best jokes of mine. It's like nobody else can talk about going to FAMU. Nobody else has been the only white guy in an all-black environment. Nobody has done what I've done. Nobody's, you know what I mean? Like when I talk about FAMU, the crowd goes, "Oh." Like everybody, they're intrigued. They want to know what that's about. Nobody's experienced that. Nobody's been able to talk about that. You know, there's so many things. The lunch tray thing. Me hitting that kid with the lunch tray is a real thing. I hit this kid with a piece of styrofoam, and nobody else is doing that. Nobody's dumb enough to do that. But these things happen in my life. There's dumb things in your life that would be great jokes, but nobody else could do them but you.
Like me losing my V card to a 50-year-old woman.
I mean, that's happened to other people too. But I mean, if you lost it at a Chuck E. Cheese or something, I'm sure that's the only way. I mean, there's plenty of people that have lost virginity's the old. I was gonna call him.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? Say it, you comedian.
No, man, we got to be a clean radio right now. We got.
I feel like you're camera shy now that I have Hoppe TV.
No,
loaded
it's
on
not even
Facebook
that.
Live.
I didn't want to curse on the radio. And
You're not on the radio. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, well, now you just took it to a whole nother level, Hoppe. Now you, ooh, this is my shit right now.
No, it's one of those things with the show where I would never swear when I'm on the radio, but there's this thing where when I have comedians in, it kind of gets very edgy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's another thing is everybody wants to be that guy now. Everybody wants to be Sam Kinison. Everybody wants to be Lenny Bruce. Lenny's the reason we got to do this. We got to be edgy.
I noticed that in radio too. Like, I really wanted to be Rover and it didn't work out for me. I really wanted to be Howard. Now I'm being myself. It's cool to be influenced by somebody.
Yeah.
But people can read through hackiness.
That's the
people
quote.
can read through being unoriginal.
Imitation is suicide. That's
Yeah.
the quote. Is it if you try to do, because if there's already a guy in that lane, that's already done. So when Pete Davidson first got on the scene, I was distraught. Like, I love Pete. Pete's a great guy, and he's shown me a lot of love. But I saw that guy, and I was like, he stole my lane. But that's because we do a lot of the same thing. We're both 22. We're both grew up only white guy in a black environment. Dropped out of college. Played basketball. Like, there's certain things that we all lined up. But I'm still me. He's still him. I can find my own lane. I just don't do that. You know, does that make sense?
How awesome was it when he hooked you up with some shows last year when he was at the Improv in Tampa?
It was great, man. To get the love from somebody that you look up to there's no better feeling. There's no better feeling than for somebody that you respect to go, I respect you too. You know, it feels good. Like when you had Norton on, like I'm sure that felt great. You know, you got to interview somebody you looked up to. It's getting to work with a guy that you respect. There's no better feeling.
It is so awesome when the guys that you look up to are cool to you. Like, I had Florentine on 3 weeks ago, and I got to talk to him for 10 minutes after his Side Splitter show. And this was when he should be relaxing in the back room with Bobby Jewell, just relaxing. But he talked to me for 10 minutes, and it's the most surreal thing. It's just awesome when they care about you. It just makes you want to grind even more, because then you say to yourself, I'm not going to be like the cocky people that forgot where they came from. I'm going to always be the person that's going to be humble, because I'll remember when I'm at this point right now in July 2016, you know?
Why you broke up that word like that, bro?
Because of my speech impediment. I told you beforehand. I
didn't think that was. I just thought that's how you said July.
No, it's because of my speech impediment. I have a
Don't
really
make me
weird
feel
speech
bad for
impediment.
calling out
No,
a
no, no,
July.
no.
Come on, man. That was just a country move.
Dude,
That
it was really weird. I was listening to my old shows that I did at Harper.
Yeah.
It's a community school in Illinois. It was so hacky. I was trying so hard to be a shock jock, and I was like, whoa, what's up? This is the Hoppe show. Kim Kardashian, the dumb whore. I literally had chills down my spine knowing that my voice used to be that bad, and knowing that I used to be that horrible at talking. For you, Cam, how awful is it when you watch your original comedy and you know you're trying to overcompensate and fit in?
Terrible. It's terrible, man. This is what I tell everybody. You got to record every set. You got to record video. You got to record audio. So you have to have some type of archive so that a year later or 2 years or 5 years, however long down the road, you can go back and listen and be like, oh, I have progressed. I have done better. You will hate every minute of it. I watch sets and I'm like, I wore cargo shorts on stage.
Because you're so much better now wearing I feel like Pablo hat. You're so cool, dude.
I mean, I'm not even saying I'm cool. I'm comfortable.
I'm messing with you.
That's the best feeling, is being comfortable. You know?
It's really weird. Whenever I try to be funny or like doing a roast of someone, it comes off really mean.
I mean, I don't even take it mean. You just pointed out what I'm wearing. I'd be like, ooh, wearing a college shirt. It's like, it's not mean. You're addressing what I'm wearing. I like when people dress for themselves. Like, that sounds so fucking douchey. Dress for what you like. Don't care about what anybody else says. I'm it sounds so stupid, but
Who were some of the comedians that influenced you? Because you definitely have the breed in you. You definitely know what you want to do, and you have the vision just by the way you portray yourself, bro.
Thanks, man. I mean, Dave Chappelle is the baddest man to touch a microphone. He'll die as the GOAT to me. He's the baddest.
Who's the goodest man to ever touch the microphone? Get what I did there? I just switched it around. I'm not a comedian.
You ever been booed on your own show, Hoppy?
No, but what was it about Dave Chappelle that drew you in?
It's comfort. And he brought you in. He made you feel like you were a part of what he was talking about. Like, no matter what he was talking about, whether it be race or it be an incident that happened to him, you felt like you were there. You felt connected to him as a person. Like, after I watched Killing Him Softly, I felt like I knew him. And that's comedy. You know, if after the show you can come up to me and be like, hey, I liked what you did. And real friendship. Like, that's...
I noticed that too last week at your wine and rhyme show at the nightclub Elise, or the bar Elise in downtown Tampa. Dude, you had a decent amount of people come up to you for not being a household name yet. Yeah. I would say 1/3 of the bar came up to you when you were outside and we were hanging out, and they're like, good show, man, I liked it. That's when I knew you had something going. Is I've been to a lot of comedy shows, and that doesn't happen often. Hell, the names that open up in this town don't always get that, man. That's when you should be proud of yourself, is when people our age that don't even get comedy, most quote-unquote millennials, don't care. You drew that bar in, dude.
Thanks, man. It's I like people who like me. That's life. That's how life should be. If somebody comes up to you and they have respect for you, there's no reason to... thanks, person who paid to see me. Like, that's... I hate that sometimes after shows, guys won't meet people. These people paid to listen to you talk. Do you understand how insane that is?
And on the greatest scheme of things, you're a comic.
Yeah.
You're a C-list celebrity if you're a famous comic. Yeah. You are nothing on the grand scheme of things.
Kevin.
There's 14 billion people on this planet. You are nothing.
I think Kevin's one of the top 20 most recognizable people in the world.
Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's one example.
Yeah,
one out of 10 billion, bro.
I mean, comics themselves are it's Batman. Nobody knows who Batman is, but when you see him, you respect him. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, dude.
You know? It's Jay Leno had this great thing. He was talking about comedy is a superpower, right?
Yeah.
You brag about it and you're an asshole. But if you just keep it a secret and you pull it out when you need to use it, it's the most incredible tool you have.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I see that you do a lot of work at Side Splitters. How supportive have they been of you?
That is my home club. I started there October 20th, 2013.
Wow, you know what exactly, you savant.
Everybody knows their first date. Everybody who has ever done stand-up knows the day they got on stage. Because it's one of the most iconic days of your life.
Do you think they saw something in you, or are you just lucky you got the foot in the door?
Both. I think I was fortunate that I was prepared. I did the set... And I think I told you this last time I was here. I did the set, and then I got approached after, and I was like, do you want to do this competition? It was Opportunity Knocks. I did it, moved on out of the round, and then they didn't know that it was my first time. So I got very fortunate to be brought into an environment where most people aren't brought into. Most people don't. You have to show progression before they like you. They just thought I was out of town, I guess.
What you do well when you're up there is you seem like a comic because you've spent your life watching it. You know how to present yourself. You know how to be in front of a crowd. You know how to look around without being awkward. Yeah, you might be nervous at times, but every comic is. That's what they saw in you, is you do a very good job of seeming like you're ready.
That means a lot, man. But I don't know if that's what they saw then, because I rewatched that tape and I'm like, yo, I would fight that. That's a funny story. That's a funny story. I'll tell you
what
that.
Happened?
When I was in Atlanta at Laughing Skull, there's this guy, Ishmael Lutfi. Hilarious. He finished top 5 out of 101 comics, finished top 5. Very funny man, right? We got to talking, and he was like, have you ever been to Gainesville? And I was like, yeah, I did High Dive. And he goes, are you serious right now? And I was like, yeah. That was my second set ever. I did High Dive in Gainesville. And he goes, I fucking hated you. He goes, we all hated you. He goes, every comic in the building hated you. Like, we wanted to fight you. Because they didn't know that I didn't have 15 minutes. And they brought me up to Gainesville to do 15 minutes, and I did all new premises. So I'm up there reading off of a paper, just new jokes. And I was awful. And then I meet this guy 3 years later, and he was like, dude, we're in the same festival. You're dope now. I hated you then. You've grown. And it was just great to have that moment of, you've come so far from me hating you and you disrespecting stand-up to you being good.
What is the key to memorizing your act?
It has. I don't even know if there's a key to memorizing. Everybody's memory is different. My memory sucks. That's why the only way that I remember jokes is if it's real to me. So if I have a real thought and I think, I don't know, the suitcases are a dumb idea, then I really feel that. I have to feel that, otherwise I won't remember it.
Yeah.
So if I fake a story, I'm going to forget the details that I faked. If I remember, I didn't say this line, but that's because that didn't happen, you know?
Yeah, you come out very natural. You seem like you have it memorized, but you go with the flow. Because after your show at Wine and Rhyme, you said to me, I forgot to do this joke and this joke, but you weren't heartbroken or annoyed by it because you just let it come out naturally.
Yeah. It's sometimes you can't do those jokes. Sometimes that's not what they want. Sometimes you got to give them. It's an experience. Stand up is not. It shouldn't be scripted. Some people do script well. Jerry Seinfeld, it's all an act. It's all a script. Boom, 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 and it's great. But the best comedy is in the moment you're feeling it. So Patrice would go up and he would have 3 ideas he'd want to talk about in an hour. It'd be women, race, religion, whatever it would be, and then he would just let it go from there. He would have topics that he'd want to touch on. So when I go up, I want to talk about going to FAMU. I want to talk about drug dealers and whatever. But I don't need it to be boom, 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 boom. If I'm doing the FAMU stuff and they like it, I'll just say what comes to mind about FAMU because it happened, you know?
How much of it is the top of your mind? Do you ever come up with jokes in a moment?
Yeah, that it happens, but I'm saying that's not how it. You definitely don't start there.
Yes.
You definitely there's new guys who go in and they're like, I'm gonna go up with no material. Well, you're gonna bomb for 5 minutes. You're gonna waste 5 minutes trying to just be funny. It's not just a clown around moment. You go up there and you have a thought. You give them the thought, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you move on. And it's frustrating to see guys go up and just think they can just be funny. When you take so much time crafting a joke and you write it, you rewrite it, and you try it on stage and it doesn't work, and then it's a process, but it's also a connection.
Dude, you have grown so much over the last 6 months. Where do you want to see yourself the rest of this year and going into the next year? What do you want to see happen?
I want to be famous, motherfucker. I want to be famous.
Yeah. Making that money.
I mean, there's a difference between what I want and what I can actually achieve. Wanting to be internationally famous is unlikely in 6 months or a year.
Dude, I just want to make it so badly, but at times you have to give it time. It's really weird, you know what I mean, trying to make it in life.
Yeah, it's a process, man. It's a very long... I was watching, Tony Robbins has a new Netflix thing.
Yeah.
It's very good.
How good is it?
It's very good. It's worth watching because it'll make you reevaluate what you're doing. It's like I think it's like a TED Talk. Is that what it's called? A TED Talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's like the behind the scenes of it. He's telling you why he's doing these things. And it's very important to break down your life in that such way. To think, how am I being productive today? How am I moving forward in what I want to do? I think it's very good to watch. I don't know why I started talking about that. There's some reason. Oh.
I was saying, where do you want to be in a year?
I mean, I want to be wherever my talent lets me be. If my talent takes me to Montreal, of all places, if it takes me there, it takes me there.
I think you would do all at the Just for Laughs show.
That's my goal, man. That is my absolute goal.
How does that work when you try to get into these bigger shows? How do you make that happen?
You meet people. It's networking. It's somebody sees you, they see talent, they see something different. I mean, Atlanta opened a lot of doors. Nothing that's really in the books right now, or nothing that's solidified, but it let me meet a lot of people who can do good things for me in the future. So Just for Laughs is something that I really am looking to do within the next 3 years. Like,
I feel you, dude.
Yeah,
that's a good goal. Where can people find your next shows anywhere in this country of ours?
I mean, I feel instead of just listing dates, because nobody's going to be like, oh, August 23rd, he's here.
At 8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. I got to lock it in now. Just, I post stuff on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
You got to make a website.
Cam the Comic. Yeah, but the thing is I never wanted to make a website too soon.
I think it's time.
Yeah, it's time for I got some things I got to put up.
What you need to do, don't have your name as Patty LaBelle on Twitter.
Dude, I change it all the time, and I love it. That's my thing.
You just want to be anonymous? You got to make it Cam Bertrand. You have to make a brand out of it.
That doesn't matter to me. I mean, the Twitter followers and stuff, that's all... industry people want you to have 10,000 followers. They want you to be blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to make my name something petty. Petty Kruger, Petty LaBelle, Petty Prince Jr., Petty Manning. I've done it so many times. I gotta get a new one. I got Petty Crocker, Petty. There's more.
Petty criminal, petty crime. See, I'm not a comedy person. I'll let you do the work.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of them because the petty thing is really funny to me because I'm a very petty person. But it's just fun to do. Nobody else is changing their name just to do it, and I don't want people to be like, I gotta follow Cam Bertrand. Do it if you want to, you know.
Well, dude, keep up the good work. I can't wait to have you on in January 2017 because you have grown so much the last 6 months.
Thanks, man.
I definitely will have you on again sooner, but what I'm saying is it's going to be amazing to see what a year does for you.
We might be dead in 2017, bro. Yeah.
Keep up the good work, Cam.
Thanks,
I am
dude.
very proud of everything you're doing in Tampa Bay and anybody in Cleveland or wherever you listen to this podcast. Remember the name Cam Bertrand.
Yeah.
This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out.
Hoppe Hour.